All right, guys, we're going to take a closer look at the Seiko 5 Sports lineup. This is, of course, the orange dial version. Now, there's two different part numbers for this. This one here is a made in Japan. So they've done the same thing that you've probably come to notice with most Seiko watches when they are ones that they're going to really sell on a bigger scale. There's a USA version or the rest of the world, and then there's the made in Japan version. This is the made in Japan, and I will do a close-up and show you on the dial versus one that is a USA part number. This is the sbsa009. Its counterpart for the US or whatever parts of the world, but certainly the US, is the srpd059. Now, again, like the other SKX, that came before this, like the 009 and stuff, there is a price difference. So just a quick look on eBay, the srpd059 USA version is selling for around $250, whereas the made in Japan, this one here, is selling for about $335. So there's a little bit of a premium on there. So just like all of the Seiko 5 Sports lineup, you have a push-pull crown, 100-meter water resist. Standard case size, though, you're looking at 42.5 millimeter, 46 lug-to-lug drilled lugs on this guy, 13.2 thick, 22 millimeter lug width. This bracelet tapers down to 20 mil. Pretty much standard Seiko fare here, all stamped out class for micro adjust, all that good stuff. You have hollow end links, and they fit really tight to the case, even with that new smaller hole and weird spring bar and everything like that I've shown in the past. So the spring bar is actually this guy here. Quite a bit different than what we're used to with the older Seikos, such as this spring bar here. So you can see there's quite a bit of difference. I did fit, so here is a USA model, the blue dial one, and I fitted a strap code to it, a little loose there. You're not going to have that with the factory Seiko bracelet. It's going to be nice and tight. So if you do a little zoom in here, you can see made in Japan down there, like you would expect to see with these, and a really nice shimmer to that orange dial. And then the rest of it, like the handset and the gilding on the insert, is very similar to the old SKX011. So very similar in overall style, but you're not going to have that lume pip up there on the top. And with the old 011, you're not going to have the raised up indices, and you're certainly not going to have the shimmer dial, but very similar in tone. Let's zoom back out. Now you're going to have a display case back as well, and this is going to be the 4R movement. I'm not sure which generation, but maybe we can see here. We're not. Let me see here. Yeah, 4R36A. So it is a hand wind and hack and all that good stuff. You can see there's the winding action. You can pop it out, it hacks. You're not going to get that on the old 7S, but on these newer 5 sports models, you're going to get that. Bezel action is very good, very tight, very Seiko-esque, if you're familiar with that, and everything lines up really good on this one. So maybe it's a JDM thing, maybe not. I don't know if the attention or quality control is a little bit better on these. I don't know. I just know this one. I've not handled a ton of these. These are the only 2 that I've handled, and I can say the USA one, the chapter is a little off. Looks like the bezel and the lines up with the dial, but the chapter is just a little off, whereas on the made in Japan one here, it is not the case. Well, maybe it's a little off, but it's really close. I think all of them are kind of like that, versus the there's next to the older SKX, if you will. I mean, I just wanted to show it next to the orange dial one, because I think it's kind of like, I know it's not the same, and it's arguably, like some people are saying that the 5 Sports is replacing the SKX. I don't think that's the case. I think we'll eventually see another SKX. These are just a sportier, refresh on the whole lineup of the 5 Sports lineup. I definitely like these more so than I like the older style 5 Sports one. I don't know what you call them, I like the SKX case design overall. And then in case you were wondering what it looks like next to a monster, I don't know, I always like to show off the monsters too. So there's that. yeah, we got a little Seiko fest going on. So let me pop this guy on wrist. If I can get it on my wrist real quick. This is what I was wearing, my Casio modded world timer, if you were wondering. Yeah, so go ahead and get this on wrist. It's not sized 100% for me. This watch was loaned in by Rob, another Rob, so sounds like a good guy to me. Viewer of the channel, sent in a few watches. This one was put up on the auction block, if you will. Not really an auction block, but I'll put a link down, or I'll put some info down in the description if you're interested in picking this up. Once it's gone, I'll write gone on there or whatever, but until that happens, you can definitely check it out. So it's running really good. I did throw it on the time grapher. I don't know if I wrote it down. I think I did. Let's see here. Yeah. So it's running at about a plus 12 seconds, so it's running a little fast. That's in a dial-up, so it's still within spec, but overall really good looking watch, and it's going to have killer lume because it is still a Seiko after all. So let me pop the lights off here, and you guys can get a look at the lume. So yeah, you got that wonderful classic lume from Seiko, and then of course if you want to mod this, you can do different bezel inserts. Crystal Times even makes a upgraded crown that you can put in there. You know, whatever mods you want to do, sapphire crystal, they're all available because they are the same as the SKX for mod parts. So there you guys go. Thanks for watching. Big thanks to Rob for sending this one in, and I will catch you on the next vid.